Please ignore the very apparent breakouts. What's up, everybody? Today we have another artist album ranking video. Bet you didn't think I'd make another one, huh? This time around we're going to be doing Tyler the Creator, if my ensemble hasn't given it away already. Now, just to clear up before we start, his first mixtape is technically considered an album. Tyler considers it an album itself. So I decided to throw it on the list because it'd be kind of weird if I didn't include it when it's submitted. You get it. Along with that, I will not be counting the estate sale as an album. It'd be kind of unfair for all the other albums because he hasn't made a deluxe album until that point. It just wouldn't be fair for all the other albums when it comes to the ranking. And speaking of that ranking, let's not waste any more time and let's just get into it. In last place, to absolutely no one's surprise, it's Goblin. Good God, Goblin stinks. I knew what I was getting into before I listened to this album, but what the heck? I had listened to the singles Yonkers and She, and I kind of wish that was the only thing that came from this, because a lot of what Goblin has to offer is sort of not very accessible. You got like dark topics like murder and other stuff that I can't say. I don't want to get demonetized. I'm not even monetized. I don't even want to say it. Probably the weakest thing about this whole album is the production. Like, listening to some of the beats and instrumentals, it's like, what am I listening to? It just sounds so terrible. And I know that this wasn't produced in a studio, but at the same time, why? But if you can't believe it, this album has fans, people that have a sort of nostalgia for it. What is wrong with you? But yeah, Goblin is bad, okay? Like, avoid this at all costs, except a couple songs, and then get out. Just get out. And I guess after every album I talk about, I'll also share my 3 favorite songs. I know it's kind of hard to pick from this, but here they are. Alright, next in the ranking is Bastard. There's not a whole lot to talk about with Bastard, other than it's a slightly better Goblin. I just think a lot of the production, the writing is a lot better. Well, I shouldn't say a lot better, just a little bit. For any debut mixtape, there are going to be some rough edges, and trust me, there are a lot of rough edges. But where it shines most is when Tyler is sort of flexing his creativity with songs like Odd Toddlers, VCR/Wheels. That's definitely where you see the highlights and the potential with Tyler way back when. I guess I'll leave it at that, though. It's not even bad, it's just okay. Here's my top 3. Alright, next up, I might talk about this for an ungodly amount of time. It's Cherry Bomb. I'll start off by saying this about Cherry Bomb. This could have been Tyler's best album. And it also could have been his worst, which I guess would explain why the reception to Cherry Bomb is so, it's like split down the middle. People absolutely hate it. People love it. I'm in the middle. There's stuff on this album that is superb. Smuckers, Effin' Young, Perfect, Find Your Wings, bruh, are you kidding me? But along with the greatness comes absolute garbage. The title track is so bad. I don't even know. He starts the song off by saying this. Like, what does this mean? He's trying to make a Death Grip song, but like, this isn't even like a good copy of Death Grips. When you listen to Death Grips, yeah, it's loud and abrasive, but like when you like sit down and sort of focus on it, you could like hear the music. This problem extends throughout the whole album. There are just some songs where you can barely hear Tyler's vocals. It's like, what is you saying? And even if you could, sometimes it's drowned out by the instrumental because the instrumental's too loud or the vocals are too Like, bruh, what? Oh, I don't even know.
And don't even get me started on BML. That song's instrumental is kind of cool, but the lyrics make me literally want to throw up. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Okay, I need to talk about the good stuff before I actually lose my mind. Death Camp is a great opener. This is how I wish he handle like all like the loud sounds. Cause yeah, it's loud, but you can hear the vocals. There are a lot of instrumentals on here that are really good. Two-seater, freaking Okaga, that's what just frustrates me so much about this album. There's so many good parts to it, but there is so much inexcusable crap. Like, they can't coexist on the same album. Like, it can't happen. If you had only the good stuff, bruh, this album is #1, no question. Overall, it's okay. Like, this had so much potential. It just had so much potential. I need to stop talking about this freaking album. I could literally make a whole video about why this album just frustrates me to no end. Here's my top 3. Let's not talk about this. Talk about this. What are you freaking square up? Alright, next on the list. I don't know if this is controversial. You know what? It's not controversial. I need to stop second guessing myself. It's Wolf. I also think Wolf is a perfectly decent album. At first, I really liked it, but then I was like, you know what? I see some imperfections. I think one of those being is that this album is long. There are a few songs that I kind of wish were cut out. That was a bad way of showing it. But there are some mighty fine songs, some pretty underrated songs, if I'm gonna be honest, from Tyler's catalog. No one talks enough about Lone. Bro, it's a fantastic way to end the album. I also think Slater is pretty underrated, along with Colossus, I guess. I don't know. Along with the underrated cuts, you got classics, you got Rusty, you got Tamale, you got... Why can't I think of any? Overall, this one is a pretty decent album, albeit a bit bloated. I only like it better than Cherry Bomb because the lows are like not infuriating, and the highlights on the album come in a bigger variety. Here's my top 3. Speaking of that top three albums, oh god, I'm gonna be honest, this was really hard to do. This next one might hurt myself along with you guys. It's Call Me If You Get Lost. Now don't get me wrong, this album is still pretty freaking wow. This album definitely shows Tyler's writing in the best way possible. Like his pen game is crazy on this. The production is also cool, but how do I put this? There's not enough variety. That's not to say the production is bad in any way, but I don't know, maybe like there's just like a bunch of songs that kind of sound a lot similar. They have more trap influence. I don't know, but I think that's what kind of separates this album from the other two above it. That being said though, there are unbelievably good songs on this. Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance. Good God, that song is amazing. Plus the first half of the album is just very, very good. The second half, not so much. There are a couple songs that I'm not a fan of, like Run It Up or Wilshire. The 2 skits are also fine, but when you're listening through the whole album, you're kind of like, okay, let's just get on with it, go to the next song, please. All in all, this is a great album. If you want to hear Tyler rap his butt off, you know what? You got this. And you got DJ Drama shouting at you every 5 seconds. Where the guy's music? He says something along the lines of that. Maybe I'm getting another DJ mixed up. Here's my top 3. Second place might come as a surprise. It may not. It's probably not a surprise, but whatever. It's Flower Boy. If you don't know how Tyler's career was before Flower Boy and after it, then you understand the sort of significance of Flower Boy. It is his most important album, period. It quite literally absolutely launched his career into new heights because he finally did it. He finally made that good album. Oh, did I say good? Forget that. I meant fantastic, because this album is, oh, it's so good. It's got some absolute classics. See You Again, Who Dat Boy, Boredom. Oh, so good. There's a lot of emotional maturity with it, something that Tyler didn't show before. Emphasis on maturity, okay? But with that maturity brings with it just some incredible songs like Garden Shed. Like, whoa. You also have just incredible production, great guests, absolutely no filler, all killer. What more could you ask for? Here's my top 3. In the number 1 spot, this probably should not have come as a surprise, it's Igor. What more do I need to say about Igor? It's perfect. What am I talking about? It is a perfect album. That might be a stretch, but I do not care. This is the album that brought me into Tyler's music. Maybe it's because of that nostalgia factor that it is so high, but I do not care. This album tells a great story about love and heartbreak and everything that goes on between it, and especially going through the whole album instead of, just picking that one song in the middle. That's where this whole album shines the most, when you listen to it from top to bottom. That's kind of the same thing with Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, it's so hard for me to just listen to one of the songs and then be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just listen to the whole thing. I don't care. That's the same with Igor, because it's that good. Plus, it has my favorite Tyler song of all time, that being New Magic Wand. It's such an amazing song. There are other amazing songs. Gone Gone Thank You, I Think, What's Good, Are We Still Friends? Like, bro, are you kidding me? I don't know what else to say. If you have not listened to this, what are you doing with your life? You need to check it out. And here's my top 3. And with that, we have concluded the Tyler, the Creator album ranking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you don't want to chop my head off after it. I want to make more videos like this. I just unfortunately could not find the time. But guess what? I've been given the time, and I've been given the ideas. I can't say I've been given the ideas. I come up with them myself. There's no credit but me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.